In our last tutorial, we discussed the sidechain feature on compressors. This time, we're going to be using the sidechain on the gate. Okay, it's a similar concept. When you have an external signal happen, its level is going to open the gate, thereby letting signal through on the track that has the gate plug-in on it. Let's listen to the pads that we're going to be using in this example. Okay, basically just a chord constantly happening. And what we want to do is put a gate plug-in on the pad track. And we definitely want to bring our range all the way down so that no signal is being let through. We turn our threshold all the way up, and we'll see obviously we don't break the threshold and we don't hear any of the sound. What we want to do now is send this track, which has our drums on it, to a bus. Okay, so that bus is going to be bus 2. Option click to bring this up to 0. And now we go over to our gate plugin, and we're going to set our key input to be bus 2. We go over to our sidechain section, and we turn on the little key. All right. Now we're going to manipulate our threshold. So what's happening there is every time that the drums are at a level that's loud enough to break the threshold, we're opening up our gate and we're letting some of the pad signal through. From here we can fine-tune it to decide how tight the gate is. Now what if we wanted to hear this sound with none of the drums? Okay, if we deactivated the drum track, well then we would lose what's going to our send. So what we're going to do is turn on this little pre button here, which means pre-fader, so that even if the drums are off, we're still getting our gated sound. I just want to suggest here that you try this with a variety of sources. Things that can replace the pad here would be vocals, they could be guitars, anything, and also things that can trigger that. Try interesting percussion events like hi-hat loops and bongos and congas, and stuff that doesn't even need to be in your song, but their rhythms are interesting. Alright, this time we're going to use a sidechain so that every time we have a bass drum happen, it's going to open up a gate on a different track that has a constant low frequency sine wave playing, thereby giving each bass drum hit a little bit more bottom end. This is also commonly done that every time a snare drum or a clap happens, it can open up a gate where there's some white noise to give a little bit more sound to a snare drum. Okay? Here we are with our bass drum. And we've got the rest of the drums playing too. Okay, just our bass drum. We're going to create a new track, a mono aux input. And let's put a signal generator on there. All right. Okay, that's some real bottom end there. Bonus points if you make it in the key of your song. That would only make sense. All right, and following the signal generator, we're going to put a gate. Let's turn on the sidechain. So now it's waiting for an input signal to open up the gate, thereby letting a little low frequency through, adding more bottom end to the kick. Okay, We make this key input any bus that we want. A lot of times I like to go to the end for the ones that are for sidechaining. So we got bus 16, waiting for bus 16 to give some signal. So we're going to put this send on the kick track, and we're going to make it pre-fader. This way we could hear the effect even if we mute the bass drum track. All right, press play. So you hear that we have that sine tone every time a bass drum happens. And of course we can change the tuning. Sounds good down there. I don't know if you could hear it on your computer monitors. And just for the hell of it, we'll put the white noise on there. If this were a snare drum and there were white noise on there, we could also filter it so it's not so abrasive. And from there we can play with the release time. All right, there you have it. Side chaining with a gate.